All right, guys. In this video, we're going to focus on samples and populations. What is a population? A population consists of all subjects under study. When we do research, we are focusing on a specific population of people, whether if it's prisoners in the New York Department of Corrections, whether if it's middle school students in New York City, it can be college students taking a particular course. We must define our population under study. However, we do not have enough time, resources, and funding to look at every member of a population. Therefore, we try to have the best representation of a population through what is called a sample. A sample is a representative subgroup or a subset of the population. Consider the population to be the universal set. A sample is the subset of that universal set. And we want to make sure that it is a good representation of the population. In the next video, we're going to go over certain types of sampling techniques to have the best representation of a population. But for questions 3 and 4, we are just going to experiment. Well, not experiment. We're going to try to understand how data is collected and what type of sampling should best be used when it comes to collecting data. Now, I want to state this off the bat. Whenever we're doing research, we want to avoid using volunteers. Volunteers are usually someone that may have some sort of personal interest in your research. Therefore, it may be more difficult to establish what is called external and internal validity. Those are research method words. Basically, that means your results will not be as accurate because every member of your population didn't have an equal chance for being selected. So try to avoid using volunteers. Now, Boris wants to find the average height of students in the 12th grade at Lincoln High School. He will use a sample of students in the 12th grade to find the average height. Now, A, which units could be used for the measurement? Check all that apply. We're trying to find height. Height is a measurement. So we know for sure we do not measure height in hours or seconds. We can measure height in centimeters, in inches, but the most popular in the United States is going to be feet. B, which of the procedures below will be the best way to find the average height? Randomly pick 5 students from the 12th grade and have them state their own heights. Randomly pick 44 students from the 12th grade and measure their heights. Measure the heights of 5 volunteers from the 12th grade. Ask 44 volunteers from the 12th grade to state their own heights. The obvious answer is going to be the second one. Now, remember what I said before. We don't want to use volunteers. So we're eliminating the third one and the fourth one. So we're left with the first and second one. You're going to pick 5 students from the 12th grade, and you're going to have them state their own heights. If they state their own heights, there's a possibility they can lie. Or rather, mistruthful. If that is a word, mistruthful. No, it's not a word. So I'm not going to even use that. Ignore that. They can lie, or it cannot be completely truthful, or maybe they're unsure what their precise height is. It is best for you to pick people at random, and it is best for you, the researcher, to do the measurement. That's why the second one is the best solution. Let's move on to number 4. Now, number 4 says town officials want to estimate the number of households that own a dog. Answer the following. Look at A. You can pause the video and try it on your own first, and then see what the best answer is. And then you can do the same thing for B. Or if you're unsure, you can just play the video out. So give it a try. So if you tried it or not, let's see what you got. Town officials want to estimate the number of households that own a dog. Answer the following. A. Which of the following surveys probably would be the best to represent the entire population of households? Underline that for a specific reason. The answer is going to be the first one. You want to choose. You want to randomly select 50 households from the town, and out of the 50 households from the town, 17 own a dog. That is the best approach in this case. Why not the second one? 50 households within a mile of the park are randomly selected. If you're looking at a mile from the park, you are disregarding the other households in the county, the other households in the town. You're only focusing on a mile radius from the park. So if someone lives 1.5 miles away from the park, they're automatically excluded out of your sample. And that is not best to represent the entire population of the households, the entire population of the town, rather. And the same problem comes with the third one. 50 households with a front yard are randomly selected. Well, we know that there are other types of living than having a house with a front yard. Some houses are brownstone houses where there is no front yard. Some people live in apartments where there's no front yard. If you're only focusing on houses with a front yard, you are not going to have an accurate representation of the town, of the entire population of households. This should not be selected. You want to be objective as possible and choose the answer that gives you the most objectivity. Or is it objectivity? Objectivity. Okay. There are 650 households in a town. Using your answer from part A, estimate the number of households that own a dog. All right. Now, we can do this several ways, but I prefer to set it up as proportions, two ratios, set them equal to each other. Now, out of the 50 households that we sampled here, out of the 50 households, $17 own a dog. So 50 households, 17 own a dog. Now, if you notice, there are a total of 650 households in the town. We want to estimate how many households in total owns a dog. Okay. Now, let's set it up as ratios. We can write this as 50 over 17. This can be written as 650 over X. And we set them equal to each other. And then we solve for X. And we're going to cross multiply. So 50 times X. That is going to be 50X. And that's going to equal to, when we multiply 17 with 650. Let me go over here. 17 times 650. $11,050. We want to solve for X. I forgot my X there, so that's 50X. To solve for X, let's divide both sides by 50. That simplifies out. X is equal to 221. That means 221 households own a dog. Estimated to own a dog. And once again, we are using proportions, setting two ratios equal to each other, solving for the missing variable to answer the question. All right, guys, that is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it makes sense. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.